And joining me now to talk more about this is economist Colin Mang. Colin, thanks for being here. What will be the main benefits and challenges of implementing these changes?
Well, the big benefit is that it's going to increase labor mobility across the country. I mean, this is something that we're well behind the times on. It's common in the United States to be able to move from jurisdiction to jurisdiction. Australia implemented this back in the mid-90s. Canada's really far behind in terms of improving internal labor mobility. So this is going to be a big benefit for workers. It's also going to be a big benefit for employers being able to bring in the best quality workers from across the country. So this is going to be pretty significant. Now, there are still some challenges. Different provinces regulate professions in different ways. Now, if you're an engineer out in the Maritimes, is that good enough to be an engineer in Ontario? Absolutely. I mean, you're learning similar curriculums, but there is still going to be a little bit of that hurdle. We'll see how quickly the regulator is actually able to process all of these applications, but the government is really giving a push towards this, and that's a good thing.
Do you see this helping to accelerate some of those major infrastructure projects that the federal government wants to get built?
Yes, this is actually one of the big benefits of doing this is we have a number of infrastructure projects that are proposed all across the country, thinking about building an east-west oil and gas pipeline. We know that the Ontario government was in discussions with Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba to build new pipelines. But then you're going to need engineers working across provinces. It's going to be a very large undertaking. And they really want to do that because it's going to help the Ontario and Manitoba steel industries if they're supplying the steel for this pipeline. We have other major infrastructure projects that the federal government is interested in, expanding ports in Vancouver and Halifax. Again, this is going to need construction workers. It's going to need engineers. There's not necessarily, particularly if you're looking in the Maritimes, the depth of the labor pool out there for some of these larger projects because the population is smaller. So they would need to bring in construction workers, engineers from other provinces. So reducing these barriers to construction trades, to architecture, to engineering. This is going to be a huge benefit to the country as a whole as we move forward with these major projects that affect multiple provinces.
Is there a risk that fast-tracking credentials could compromise safety standards? And how could we ensure standards don't slip?
Yeah, that is going to be the catch, is making sure that whoever does come is qualified. Now, if you do have your license from a place like Alberta, or you have a license from Nova Scotia or New Brunswick, those are good licenses. As long as you actually have the license, I fully trust other provinces outside of Ontario to be doing their work and to be licensing people properly. We don't see any evidence of fraud in other provinces, so I'm not concerned about that. But when you do get people starting to come across the country, moving to other provinces and claiming they have their licenses, there does need to be a robust process for verification that they do in fact have all the right credentials from their initial province when they're moving to Ontario or when they're going to be moving from Ontario to a different province. Each of the provincial regulators is going to need to be very sure that they are handing out new licenses to someone moving to their province, just verifying that they do in fact have their license from their previous province.
All right. Thank you very much for your time today, Colin. Great chatting with you. That is Colin Mang, economist at McMaster University.